Hello there. In the last couple of years there's been massive changes in the pagan community, and in 2020 I want to restart this channel by recording a video, and I recorded it in February of 2020, and as time passed it didn't mean anything anymore because the topics that were touched didn't quite fit to the changes we had globally and of course in the pagan community. So I want to restart with a quite controversial topic, at least for European pagans, which is how important folklore is when you come to pagan life, pagan virtues, pagan values. Is it more important than solely Norse lore? This is my personal opinion. It's not everyone's opinion, so please feel free to comment below. When the community started dividing into universalist paganism and folkish paganism, these words are quite confusing, as folkish paganism usually refers to people who say you can only believe in what the blood of your ancestors allows you to believe in. As Europe is very diverse and for centuries people have passed through, and most Europeans are like shaggy dogs, many of us do not have one genetic heritage. For example, German is a political term. Our state today is, I don't know, from 1990. It's quite new, and the borders have always shifted in Europe, so it's hard to say which ethnicity you are. We are all Europeans, and this makes folklore quite special. I truly believe that the region you live in is imprinting you in some way. It's nature, it's the weather, it's whatever people make out of the seasons. The way you live life is dominated by nature. Today more than before, but even our technology doesn't make us independent from nature. So this is also quite obvious when you look at Near Eastern culture, which is formed by deserts, high mountain ranges. Then you look at continental Europe, where you have mid-range mountains, flat mountains, you have oceans, you have the north where it's very cold, you have the Alps, which have a total diverse or different culture than we in the mid-range mountains. I live in the mid-range mountains in Germany, where for example the goddess Holle is very important. She's a kind of snow goddess, and some say she's the equivalent to the Norse goddess Frigga. In the Alps she's considered to be like Pechta. There are some nice videos of tourists going to alpine states like Austria, Switzerland, parts of Germany and Bavaria, where you can see the Pechten run, and it's a kind of, I would consider it goddess Hel, the goddess of death. But yeah, it's kind of part of the local structure and the nature, which demands people to live a certain way of life and live certain seasons. I hope it makes sense in some way. We have massive storms in winter. We're still in the winter storms. The worst is over, I hope, at least. And we see these storms, for example, as wild hunt. The wild hunt is something that locally exists. It is not codified in Norse mythology, because it's a phenomenon which is across Netherlands, middle of Germany, where you have massive storms which are not influenced by the ocean. So we have these huge winter storms before the snow comes, and folklore tells that it's the wild hunt, dead people chasing across the sky, either led by Odin, Woden, Frigga, Holle. and the horses go around, and there's a lot of folklore with the behavior you have to show, for example, cleaning out your houses before winter, not being allowed to work with wool, which is synonymous with Frigg. And these folkloristic elements are very important in everyday pagan life. You read Norse mythology and it's great for a beginning, but as soon as you go into folklore, you start truly exploring what it means to live pagan life, and you get a closer connection to the land you live on. For example, with the storms. And I just put out some straw for the horses for the rider, and it's my personal sacrifice. I think it protects me. Other regions have other customs. This region is also very strong with dwarf legends, and just like the fairy legends on the British Isles, there are many behaviors and rules you have to follow, so you get along with these little fellows, either for good luck or simply so they don't harm you. There are legends in German forests, which are partially on the British Isles as well, that metal bans them and people put knives into forest grounds so the small folk don't get you when you sleep in the woods. Another one is I have small coins with me, mostly cent coins, euro cent coins, which have a small copper part, and I sacrifice those for the dwarves. As a former mining region, we have a lot of problems with sinkholes, and I don't know, it's better safe than sorry to sacrifice some coins symbolically so the dwarves don't dig away the ground underneath you. There are many local legends. We have towns which have simply sunk into the ground. There has been mining since Celtic times, and therefore there are a lot of dwarf legends, as the dwarfs are the small folk living underground. So personally, I think folklore is very important if you want to live paganism, and it's really exciting when you go through Germany. Last year I went to southern Germany, and the local legends, haunted dogs which protect castles and stuff like that, it helps you get a connection, and the local people live with these legends, and there are many non-pagans which live with these legends. So I think folklore is not folkish, but a very important part of pagan life.